So, what's been going on in gaming land? Let's keep that back and see if that gives us what we want. There we go. Alrighty, guys. So we are live on Facebook. No, we're not live on Facebook because nobody likes Facebook. We are live on TikTok and YouTube, and we're going to be putting together a faction starter from Conquest. The guys over at Parabellum Games were awesome enough to kind of send this over. We've had Giannis, their community manager, on the channel before, having a bit of a talk about the games and the stuff that they do. And we've made a little bit of headway lately. So they thought, hey, why not? It's about time that we start looking at some deals. Big shout out to the guys at Parabellum. I know that there was awesome stuff going on at LVO with these guys. We also, as far as I'm concerned, locally at CanCon, there was some awesome stuff happening. Let's clip some sprues. I suppose that's really what we're here for, isn't it? Anybody want to talk to something in particular? What we've got going on in Wargaming these days? Saying that, we'll have a look at in the box. I've already looked in the box. I was excited. I've got a proper video to make for these. But there's just, I don't know, man. It's just so cool. I love opening boxes, especially when they're miniatures. You get to see how it comes. Every company does something a little bit differently. Most people, of course, are used to seeing GW and all the fancy crap that they do, but they're fairly stripped down compared to what we see in boxes today. So, for example, these things right here, movement trays. Like, if you want movement trays from GW, man, you're paying a bit of a mozza these days, a stupid amount of money. But no, these come straight in the kit. Speaking of kit, you obviously also get all your bits and pieces. We'll save the sprues. See what else comes in the box. So obviously, got an assembly guide. So for our legionaries, the Praetorian guards, there's a couple of those. Option for a banner. There is a Keres or Maore. If I'm butchering those in somebody's local language, I apologize. I'm half cook, and half Australian. So the Australian side of me butchers every single language there is, and the cook side just means I roll my R's and my O's on everything. So there's some cool stuff in there. The other thing that I love about the Parabellum stuff is what we get in here. That can live there for a minute. So they also have something called the Living World. So they have an app, just like a lot of other places do, a lot of other game manufacturers. But these ones, you get these cards, and the cards are sick. The art on these things is pretty awesome. And they're just a standard size playing card if you want to sleeve them up. But we also have these little codes right down there. And you'll see it in here too. Yeah, don't worry. Focus back. There we go. And basically what you do, you scan that into their army building app, and it brings up their data cards. Brings in the data sheet, and that is just fucking sick. Like, there's no way around it. That's just really cool. Obviously, there's been a few other places that have tried to integrate a semi AI or VR, kind of thing. Everybody's integrating fucking AI at the moment. It's just, I just thought it was a really cool thing. I loved seeing it. I love, jumping up in the box and just finding out, what is this? I've had a roll of Conquest quite a few times with First Blood 2 and Argument of Kings, but I've never actually gotten to assemble any of the models for it. These are actually the first models for Conquest that I own, because I'm a painter first and foremost. So trying to find things that I want to paint, and then being in Australia, things that are in stock that I want to paint, that gets difficult. I've been after the Fallen Divinity for a while, and every time I go and check somewhere, it's sold out. But yeah, so let's put something together. I don't know. I suppose we'll check out some sprues. So these are our Legionary Fellows. It's a nice looking sprue. It's there's not a lot of dead or negative space in there, but in saying that, they're also not overly clumped up together. I found things like Marvel Crisis Protocol, the sprues from those guys. I'm not a massive fan of their layouts. It can get pretty rough in there, pretty tight. You know, I've overclipped a few things. It's, you know, caused some plastic tear and that kind of thing. Just needs a little bit of repair, which is not a big deal. But you know, if we don't have to do it, that's even better. Like, I don't want to have to do it. But you know, fancy fella-rests. And just really cool stuff. Like, obviously there is a little bit of space. I don't know if you can see that on here. Nah, probably not. But I can fit a finger through, and I've got some big old sausage hands. But no, I'm in it. I'm into it. I like it. I dig it. I dig it hard. Let's start off with this fellow. All right, so just like everybody else in Wargaming, generally I use Tamiya Extra Thin. It's been my go-to for quite a while now. My only bugaboo is the brush applicator. Now, this thing is fucking excellent when you have more than half a pot left. Otherwise, you know, you can't deep down. You can't touch that button down. All right, let's snip out some fancy stuff. I should probably have some better lights in here. But you know, we make do. Those of you that have, you know, watched the channel before and some of the videos and live stuff, you'll notice while it's the same background, it's a little different. Because I have actually moved the studio out of the battle shed and back inside my house, which is, I don't know, it's a thing. Where I live, it's either stupidly hot or stupidly cold, and the sheds floods, which sucks. So yeah, but I have been allowed to re-enter my home, so that's what we're doing. And then, of course, I had to move everything back inside, which also means my entire lighting setup has changed. All right, let's build some kits. I'm gonna get these boxes out of the way. Even though the boxes are cool, man. I think this was a fantastic idea, having a faction taster from Parabellum. Just, it really does give you just that little bit, and they're not expensive. I know we see a lot of stuff a lot of the time from a bunch of different miniature manufacturers, and prices can soar pretty quick, man. Like, obviously GW is GW, and they can get pretty expensive pretty quick. We already know the pricing structure. You know, it works around you know, how useful or how many of that particular unit, of that particular box we have to buy for an army or whatnot. And while it's a shitty thing to do, it does. That's just their thing. That's how they make the money. That's how they kind of, you know, become the biggest bloody thing on the planet as far as miniatures go. I would love to see another company kind of come in and take the wind of their sails. Not that I hate GW. I should probably state that I do not hate GW. It's the fan base that annoys me more than the company itself. There's some pretty gross people and gross opinions out there that I disagree with entirely. But I just want to roll dice. I want to paint things and roll dice. That's what I'm here for. Which is, yeah, it's one of those big arguments, man. Like, I just want cool models. If you give me some cool models to paint, I don't care. I don't care about the law. I don't. I really couldn't give three shits, and I know it's funny considering that my biggest twice daily series of Warhammer 40k versus everyone is wholly and solely based on lore. I don't care for it. I don't care for it or about it. It just I like having those arguments, like the same arguments that we've been having since we're like 12 years old, reading comics and watching movies, and back when TV shows were good. Especially like kids shows, animated stuff, of who could beat who, like Power Rangers. What happens when the Power Rangers meet the Ninja Turtles? Like hell, we even had an official crossover with the Ninja Turtles and Batman. Like, damn, that's cool. And it was actually it was not a terrible series. Speaking of not terrible series and Ninja Turtles, if you're interested in Ninja Turtles and have not checked out the short comic series the last Ronin, god damn, that was fantastic. Like I've loved Turtles my entire life. Like I was a 90s kid, like an actual 90s kid. I watched all of this stuff coming out on TV when it was brand spanking new. Some of the things like Turtles were actually reruns, for the early series. But man, it was such a cool series. I don't want to give any spoilers away, but if you get a chance or you come across the last Ronin, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles thing, it was absolutely spectacular. It hits you right in the feels, just like if you're my kind of age and you've seen what is it, Beast Wars, and if you remember when Dinobot dies, and that kind of hit you in the feels as a kid, you didn't want to go to school the next day because you were fucking upset. It's kind of on par with that, which it's absolutely fantastic, man. I'd go and check it out 100%. Speaking of going and checking things out, massive shout out to everybody on the TikToks and on my YouTube. We've been doing pretty well lately, which has actually kind of gained us some popularity with a bunch of sponsors. Obviously, Parabellum Games were the first one to jump on board and say, hell yeah, let's do it, which is awesome. But we actually have another couple of sponsors. We've had 3 sponsorships come through this week, and they've all sent starter sets out. So this live thing is going to become fairly frequent. Every time I get a box from a sponsor, I'm going to be doing some lives and just checking out what's in the box, assembling some stuff. We might even get into some painting down the track. But I super excited. So on the way, we've got stuff from Mantic Games. They've sent some awesome stuff through. Their rep Zach that I was talking to, absolute legend of a guy. Just super into it, man. I know we're starting to talk companies, and they want publicity and gamers and all that kind of stuff. But I'm not a massive channel, man. I'm still under that 1,000 subscribers for the old YouTubes, or 2,500 follows on TikTok, Facebook, and Insta is damn near non-existent. But that's fine. That's not really what we came to do. Like I said, I'm here to paint some cool minions and roll dice. Speaking of rolling the dice, I had a couple of games this last week. If you watch the Wargaming whenever on the Ordnance Wargaming channel, we go live every Monday now, and we just talk shit about Wargaming. Kind of. I'm I'm the only one that kind of plays multiple games, multiple systems. Everybody else there is fairly Warhammer, 40k specifically minded, which that's fair, that's fine. We had a bit of a discussion last night about what's stopping them checking out other systems, other games. And there's some fair points. Some people just don't want to. They're everything is they live and breathe Warhammer, which is fine. Like there's a lot of people that make it a personality trait. But then there's other people out there, the magical people that kind of they do everything, man. Like me, I am the magicals. Not quite as magical as Sam Lenz. Kind of rocking and rolling with some eggs and fighting off 1,000 sparrows and that kind of thing. But yeah, no, it's just strange. I like weird, fucky things. I like strange interactions. I like trying to be able to do different things in gaming. I think a lot of tactics. Doesn't matter what system you play, they do kind of just they roll. Tactics are tactics, man. War is war. And yeah, it works with a bunch of different places. It's fine. It's cool. Why am I having so much trouble with the bloody base? Everything else went together amazingly. The fucking base won't stick, which is why we have sprue glue. But tell me what's been going on in your lives, my guys. We've got a couple of watches on the TikToks, a couple of watches on the YouTubes. What's going on in your wargaming worlds? Yeah, let's hear it. Because Michaela just joined. What's up, Michaela? We're assembling some Conquests, some Last Argument Kings, and apparently just shitting on GW, which is fine because GW. Look, first one is successfully together. Yeah, I got multiple cameras here for all the different streams. But that's one, I suppose. It's a start. We'd love to see it. All right, what's next? I might need instructions for these next ones. Let's do some Praetorian Guards and Legionaries. A single troop assembly. Let's start off with the spear, because spears are pretty cool. I like spears. So we are going to need a bunch of parts. That is the entirely wrong sprue. And this one will be it. What are we starting off with? 1516. I love it when things are numbered. If you're a bit older and used to play Warhammer, and you remember the sprues that were, unnumbered, pretty poorly packed in. It was a time, man. It was difficult. But we digress. Where are we? 15, 16. But what was this one? What the bloody hell was this one? 31. I don't need 31 yet. Why am I so bad at doing things on camera? 15, 16. Okay. Pop. I gotta say the sprues on these guys are a little bit tougher than what we're quite used to. It's some strong ass plastic. 16, there it is. But like even my nippers that I use for everything, they're going through, but I can feel a little bit of the pinching, which is never fantastic. Oh, good lord. So what else has been happening in the world of wargaming? So it's back to GW. The LVO previews. I personally thought it was a bit of a bust as far as the 40k stuff went. It didn't grab me. I know a bunch of people loved it. Those stupid bloody t-shirt cannon Primaris things were ridiculous. Getting another fucking lieutenant, if you haven't done it before, this is hilarious. Go and count out how many Primaris, what's it called? Not Primaris, just lieutenants, captains are in the HQ slots for Space Marines. Jump on WoW and have a look at it. It is fucking hilarious. There are so many. Like there are more unique characters and slots in there than some armies have in total model count. Like it's ridiculous. It's something like we count out. I think it's like 46 or 52. It's something like that. It's absolutely fucking insane. You're not a 40k guy yourself, my man. What are you playing? User 5417357325196. I think we're just gonna have to call you Barry. Man, that's a mouthful. But yeah, no, it's I don't know, man. It's not that I don't hate JW. AOS player. Okay, cool. Okay, so your AOS, so you would have seen the LVO stuff for the Seraphon, the Lizard Man. That was the part of the release that I liked. I thought there was some really cool stuff in that. Lizard Men have needed an update for a long time. For example, the Skinks. That sprue set is from 1992. Yep. So it means the sculpts themselves are even older. But that pressing was like 1992. That is a long ass time to get out some molds. Now I know that there would have been some repairs and stuff, but god damn. Seraphon, yeah, my man. See, I'm the same. I started back with fantasy way back when. Well, no, that's a lie. I started with the Lord of the Rings miniature game. Back before it was called Middle Earth, and like the first time round, and quickly jumped into 40k, and then of course fantasy. The guys that I played with when I first started, they were a touch older than me, and they just had army after army. So they just say, what do you want to play this week? I'll bring it in while I was putting all my stuff together and building it up. And yeah, no, I jumped into that, and fuck, man, it has been a minute. It has been a long ass time since a bunch of this shit has been updated, and I wasn't massively sold on AOS when it came out, and to be quite frank, I'm still not massively sold on AOS. It's weird because I'm not a lore guy, but it didn't really make sense, which kind of pushed me back a little bit from learning in the beginning. I ended up playing a bit. I actually used to own a hobby store, so I played a little bit of everything through all these years. But yeah, no, it is good to see there's some lizard love out there. They sure did take their sweet ass time. And yeah, no, I do think that they rust AOS. And it's strange, man, because like you look at something like obviously we're getting the old worlds, which we don't quite know what comes with that yet. But when you look at something like Horus Heresy, where the first iteration was pretty sloppily done, it was very haphazard. It seemed like they kind of just wanted to put something out for the sake of having something out. And let me tell you, like it's pretty obvious, but if you guys don't know, GW stocks and their stock, all their stuff spikes massively when they have a new system release, which is why we've seen so many different things coming out, even down to like your War Cries and stuff like that, Curse City, all the different box games as well. Even Blood Bowl's seen a resurgence, which is fine. Blood Bowl's not terrible. But yeah, no, I think they're trying to throw a lot of these things out. And it's just, I don't know, just try harder, I suppose. I think a big thing would be, I don't want to say competent, because they're not entirely incompetent. But fucking hell, get some better rule writers, people that I don't know. You have to have a sweet mix between an emotional kind of attachment to a game, as well as some actual game designing and some forethought into what you're doing. Which I don't know. It just seems like the current team doesn't. Now, obviously, they're experienced enough to get a job with the leading miniatures manufacturer and game designers for miniatures. But yeah, I don't know, man. I think there's a spark missing out of GW lately that I can't put my finger on what's missing. Also, I don't know if I am just being a little bit jaded with what's called a little jaded with the fan base for a lot of 40k stuff. That throws me, man. I just want to have a good time. I think that's why we all start. We want to have a good time, and I don't know. A lot of these people ruin it. Started playing Confrontation first. God damn, I haven't thought about that for a while. That's a throwback, man. Yeah, no, it's I don't know. I've tried so many damn games. And like, to be honest, a bunch of games I have only had one, maybe two, kind of like demo games, if that's what you want to call them. Just because there are so many miniatures games on the market. There's a few things that I'd love to see that we probably won't ever get to see. A few things that Kickstarter have brought up in the past, or had a Kickstarter campaign in the past, I should say, that just hasn't come to fruition. Like the Ninja Turtles game from IDW Games. They shit the bed with that big time. It's like, oh, we're not doing well. We need something to save us. So they bring out this really fucking cool looking game, and then just ran away with people's money, close the business. And fun fact, if you go and check out IDW's website now, that will take you to a page for it's like a shopping page for steroids, which is absolutely ridiculous. Still have the Midnight Warfare and Devourer. Nice. Yeah, man, I haven't thought about a lot of those things for so long. It just throws me back into a lot of the stuff, a lot of the games back in the day, I suppose, was pretty sick. I seem to have forgotten a lot of games. There's been a lot of shit go down. 10-8, that's weird. Yeah, there's been a lot of shit go down in gaming and miniature stuff for quite some time. And I don't know, I kind of like it. I enjoy this. This is what I enjoy the most, man. The kind of the hobby and stuff, chatting to new people that are into it. But yeah, no, it's I don't know. I think I just live in a constant state of nostalgia where, as long as it's got something that I remember from my childhood, I'm 100% in on it. Which is actually what brings me to, like, I've been talking about this for quite some time now. And on the YouTube channel, we have a series called Hobby Heroes. And in the Hobby Hero series, I get to talk and interview a bunch of the big miniature guys. So talking to like a Vincent Venturella, who Vincey V is, such a cool guy, so fucking knowledgeable. And obviously he has a build company, a gaming company, Snarling Badger, with Uncle Adam Loper. And he was on the channel last week. And talking to those guys, and they're instantly inspiring. Like I put out into the universe constantly that every time I pick up a brush, Vincey V lives in my head rent free. He's just such a cool dude. Knows so many things, straight down to business, but he's not redonkulous. He's very much a real person, very humble, very down to earth, which was absolutely killer to see. Because there are a lot of people that are not like that, unfortunately. In the miniature world, I haven't actually come across anybody that I've had anything to do with personally that have been horrible. Like, I was talking to Uncle Adam Loper, about, a lot of these people kind of gaining some traction, some notoriety, I should say, and just kind of completely flipping like movie stars. But even he hasn't really come across that, and he thinks it's because people very quickly, on any kind of social media platforms or any kind of video content platform, they can smell out a fake. Like if they're not being genuine, they just don't. They're not into it. They don't want to know anything about it. They call bullshit, and that's it. That's kind of the end of that, which is, I think, fairly true, to be honest. So yeah, a lot of these guys are just the same old guys that you'd meet down the street, and I don't know. I love that about them. They've just been also so nice. Like we've now had John Ninus, so Ninjon. He's been on the show, man. He was absolutely hilarious, loveliest guy. And thanks to him, we had Sam Lenz a couple of days ago. And goddamn, man, Sam is my new best friend, man. He is just the funniest, most out there guy. And I don't know, it was just so awesome. He's just so relaxed, but he's so happy to go on these crazy tangents. Kind of like just what I do. And I don't know, there's just so many cool people out there. And it seems like the miniature world, it almost seems like the bigger you get, the more likely you are to stay the same and kind of be nice. Like Miniac, for example. I've been talking to Scott here and there over the last couple of months, and we're going to be doing something together pretty soon. Well, not just me and him. I don't want to kind of throw information out there. But there is a little bit of a project coming between a bunch of 5, 6, 7, a bunch of creators, and he emailed me a little while ago now. I think it was like last week or the week before, just saying that, hey, just keeping you in the loop. And I was like, that's really cool, man, because I'm tiny. I'm a tiny channel. I just like doing things. And yeah, he was just straight up. He was like, yeah, man, that's cool. I'll let everybody know that you want to be involved. And this is a guy with like what 300,000-400,000 subs. I don't know, just super cool, super chill. I think, and that's what I was saying. Everybody that I've come across has been. We've got Emil from Squidmar. I'll be talking to him this week, so that should be a video that goes up on Friday. I think the American Friday, which makes it an Australian Saturday. But no, same thing, man. Every time I've messaged and chat to Emil, it's just yeah, mate, this sounds great. I don't know if the mate thing was because I'm Australian, which would be hilarious if it was. But no, just same thing, man. Super cool guys, and just super nice. I haven't found a miniature asshole yet. I think I will, but they'll probably be the guys that don't kind of respond. And even if you want to start talking, even bigger than that, man, I've had an interview with Duncan Rhodes, Mr. Two Thin Coats. And if there was anybody that kind of had the notoriety and kind of the popularity to be an absolute asshole, it would be him. But he was absolutely lovely. He is exactly to talk to, even when the camera was off, he was exactly as you see him in the videos. That is him. super, super, super nice guy, and so understanding. So like the day I was supposed to be interviewing Duncan, my street actually had a blackout. We had a bit of a storm, and yeah, I had no power, had no internet. There was no way that I could get a hold of Duncan and say, look, I'm really sorry, we have to postpone, that kind of thing. And then the power came on about 20 minutes, half an hour later. And there was a message from Duncan just saying, hi, just wanted to, just checking to see if you're still available for our interview. If you've mixed up the times, that's fine. It's not a problem. And I messaged back and I was like, look, man, I'm really sorry. This is just what happened. He's, oh, okay, cool. And instantly I said to him, it was like, man, I'm still good to go if you have the time. He's like, yeah, it'll have to be quick though, because I've got to be out by 10, like 10 o'clock his time. And I'm telling you, man, that was in about 20 minutes time after I got everything set up, and he was just so happy. Like I gave him a safety word. I give everybody a safety word if they need to go, so we can wrap it up naturally. And he didn't use it. He had the option to get out, and he ran over time. We were only supposed to be there for about 20 minutes, and that episode went for pretty close to an hour. And he had to be out the door, gone, for his next appointment. But he was just so happy and accommodating, just to chat. And yeah, I don't know. I absolutely love him for it. But all of these guys have been so fucking cool. And yes, if you did notice that I put a part on upside down and glued it, I am starting to figure out that I suck doing this on camera. I don't know, mate. You get talking, I get a bit of a roll. I can ramble for days on end about anything, especially when we start talking mini painting. And I don't know. I noticed just before when I was putting stuff together that I was staring at the same three pieces, looking for this part that I just couldn't find. But no, so far these I think if I wasn't on stream putting these together, they'd be a lot easier. But they're not hard models. Everything's fairly self-explanatory. The assembly guide reminds me a lot of how GW used to do the assembly guides before the printouts, back when they were printed on the side of the box. Which, if you ever get a chance to check out some old boxes from GW, do it. It's hilarious. I still have a bunch of stuff from Fantasy, from 5th edition Fantasy sealed, like Chaos Regiment Warriors, and what else have I got? But all the Lords.
The key to the gate.
Out on the back. Oh, it should be on your keys, but where the light switch is
in
the garage, hanging up on the just blue tacked to the thing. They should be there. Yeah, my apologies, guys. But yeah, I know there's been great figures to put together. Let's just close that. We have the handyman here, and of course, for some reason, I'm the only one that knows where the keys are. But no, I'm really enjoying assembling these. Like I said, I've never actually got to assemble the Parabellum stuff. I've painted quite a few, and loved them, but I've never actually got to put any together. So this has been fantastic. What do we reckon? 33. I need 33. The arm 33, which I think should have no hand. Nope, that's just number 3. 33. Because we want spears. Because spears are sick. Even though I like painting swords better. especially when they're a little bit more, a touch more historically accurate. I don't know if historically accurate is the right word, but just a little bit more lifelike. Yeah, so I suppose we'll get to see. What's going on out in the what's going out in the nethers. YouTube's getting a bit slow on here, but TikTok looks like it's decided to kind of. You guys want to chat? So what's going on? What do we got? We got a bunch of people online, a couple of people watching, bundle of likes. I don't know where that came from, but that's pretty cool. What else has been going on? LVO, obviously the Las Vegas Open. We'll circle around to that. We spoke a little bit about it before, but there was a thief, a fox among the pigeons. I think it was CM Studios that had some of the pro painted stuff pinch. So it was stolen, which is never good. But to the thieves, there was some pretty stupid idea. Because what turns out in those boxes was a Forge World from Vulcan. Oh, a Vulcan Forge World, I should say. God damn it. A Vulcan from Forge World, which here nor there, been around for a minute. But there was also an Angron, Demon Prince Angron, the new one that hasn't been released yet. It goes on pre-order this weekend, and pro-painted, which that's the only way that Angron's going to be available to anybody is if it's been sent out to guys like CM Studio and Vince Venturella and stuff like that. For display and promo stuff, and the Horus Ascended model, which is exactly the same. It's not quite yet released, and it's been pro painted. That guy is not going to be able to shift him. Even you can't even open the box and show somebody that. Like, I know it's a pretty stupid thing to do. Like, look who I pinched, fucking dickhead. But I don't know. It's just so stupid. Like you can't do anything with those models. And like if you walk out day one after even after Angron is released and you pull that thing out on the table to play it, people can be like, there's no way. It's been released for like 17 hours and there's like a 200-hour paint job on it. And it's much better than the rest of your fucking slap chop painted shit that you have on the table. Like there's just not. It's not going to be a thing. It's so stupid. Stealing stuff to start with, pretty stupid, but I don't know. I don't know how they expected to to get anything, and I just don't know. Stupid is as stupid does. What else happened at LVO? Apparently there was a bit more of an influx of female players, which is always cool to see. I think it was 40k AOS and Conquest saw more female players than they have in previous tournament, which is cool. Not that I'm going to get political or anything like that. I'm not going to bring up female Space Marines, even though they should, and probably will be a thing. You can't convince me otherwise. Because I don't care about law. Oh, I lost some watches from that. But look, man, female Space Marines. I just want cool minis. It's not about representation to me. Because I think women are fairly well represented in just about every single other faction, unless it's a Space Marine. Which, let's be honest, who wants to be a fucking Space Marine? Fucking vanillas. But I want cool models. That's what I'm here for. I just want some fucking sick miniatures. That can, I don't know, just cool shit. That's all I want. Cool shit. And if you have a problem with cool shit, then I think you're a dickhead. Don't forget, guys, I am Australian. If I swear profusely, and I will, take it with a pinch of salt. It's if I start calling you mate, buddy, or big guy, that's when shit's gonna hit the fan. That's when that's when there's an issue. Um, I don't know how many of you watching are Australian, so you'll know. But cunt is the most useful word that we have in our syntax. It's used everywhere for everything. I don't know why. That's what we do. Fucking criminals, I suppose. But yeah, no, it's yeah. What game? What model? Okay, so at the moment I am putting together a mess because I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing. I'm trying to talk. I am putting together a Legionnaire, the Praetorian Guard from the Old Dominion for Conquest. Parabellum Games were kind enough to send out, a couple of things that there will be a full video for on the channel. So yeah, I thought I'd jump on and put some together. Gives me an excuse to do some hobby time, maybe, and talk to some peoples, which I don't know. It sounded like a good idea at the time, and it still is. I'm being a dickhead now, but no, it's been a great model. We've already got this fella together. So this is just out of the what's it called, the faction taster for the Old Dominion from Parabellum Games. And yeah, it was just such a cool little box, man. Getting movement trays and shit, that's cool. And look, man, even the Old Dominion, like I am not into you're 100 Kingdoms, cool. Look, generally I'm not into lore. I will read it, I will enjoy it, but I don't get married. Just kind of the stories that are told. Which is pretty evident by me being a dickhead. But yeah, no, I've been loving this stuff. Actually, they even sent out, where is it? Oh. So Parabellum even sent out the hard-covered version of the 1.5 companion book, which is really, really cool. It's got it's very amazing. I want to say the art in it is really cool. I think that was probably one of my favorite things about it. The lore in there is cool. It gives you a pretty basic overview of every faction in here. Then it also gives you your rules and your campaign scenarios and stuff. If you are a Conquest player, you will already know because you probably have it. But yeah, man, I like the stuff. My big thing is I'm a mini painter first, gameplay a second, and a lore never. I don't know why, because I love stories. I love movies. I love comics. Despite what my friends think, I read, or at least can read. But no, it's just I've never been a big guy into lore. And I don't know why. I don't understand why. It's just a thing. It happens. But yeah, so I think the only thing that was a little bit of a bugaboo here for me is after I was talking to Parabellum Games and they had sent out this lovely little care package for me to put together, which I'm really fucking thankful for. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely loved it. Still do. It arrived at my house. And that very evening, it was announced that the city states were now available, which that hurt a little bit. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the Old Dominion and stuff. The Fallen Divinity is still one of the coolest models out there, and I'm still trying to get a hold of one. But being in Australia kind of sucks for a lot of stuff like that. But hey, if we go well with the Conquest stuff, Parabellum might actually send it out. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, Giannis. But yeah, and I don't know. I've been a massive fan of Greek mythology my entire life as a kid. I don't know if it's because Disney's Hercules came out when I was pretty young and impressionable, or don't know what it is. I just always loved the idea. So I was a little heartbroken when I found that out, but I am still very, very incredibly thankful and grateful to Parabellum for sending me stuff out. Just taking a chance, not even chance really, but giving a pretty small channel and a pretty annoying, hairy, smelly Australian, the opportunity to kind of do this kind of stuff. I know we see a lot of the big YouTubers and stuff. They get stuff for free a fair bit. There'll be affiliates or part of content creation, and have deals with brands and that kind of thing. But yeah, it was kind of cool that they went in for the little guy and they opened the floodgates for us. I say us, it's me. I'm the only one that does anything here. Yeah, they opened the floodgates. Once one brand kind of jumps on, and you talk to the next brand, you say, "Hey, I'm currently working with this company, this team." And they're like, "Okay, cool. If somebody else has weighed up the pros and cons to do it, we can too. Let's send them something out." Which Mantic Games jumped on pretty quick after that, and then actually Corvus Belly jumped on after that. Inside the week, I then had 3 sponsors, and I have so many miniatures on the way. Heresy and AOS, and then War Machine Infinity. Ah, my man. Having local stockers for Conquest made getting into it harder. Yeah, no, that is a big deal. There's still really only a handful of places that I know of personally, like the bigger guys, like Gap Games, for example. They don't stock Conquest, and they're probably one of the bigger ones in Australia. Where else? Who else has it? Dave's Games, they have Conquest. I'm pretty sure. It's the same as a Marvel Crisis Protocol. There's a bunch of people that have it, a bunch of people that don't. It gets a little iffy at times. I don't know. Being an Australian consumer for just about anything is really, really difficult. And yeah, it's just one of those things. Like all the cool collectibles and stuff, man. Like we don't get them, or we get them like really late, or we pay an absolute ridiculous amount on top of, which that gets me a bit. Like obviously, I used to, like if you're new to the stream here, I actually used to own a hobby shop, in my local town, and I sold the hobby shop on, and it's still going. Golden Games, go and check the guys out. They do more stuff in store than online. But it was even from that perspective, like there were so many games, but then you have to start dealing with a different what's called a different supplier for so many things. And as a store, that can be pretty hard because a lot of suppliers have an MOQ, which is your minimum order quantity. So you start have to pumping out money after money after money. I heard you mention Corvus Belly and hope they sponsor you. Yeah, Infinity. Yes, no, I have been. Yes, on both accounts. Corvus Belly have sponsored me. They've sent out. They have sent out a care package with big old their brand new starter kit. Well, not brand new, but their latest starter kits. Operation Black Winds, I think it is, which I'm super excited about because I have been playing Infinity for a minute now and really enjoy it. It's just really cool. I love what I love about games that aren't that aren't Warhammer. Fuck, man, it really sounds like a shit on GW all the time, which is fair. People probably should. But no, what I love about so many other miniature games is how they tackle activation. And there's so many different things, like Marvel Crisis, for example. You get 2 activations every time you start, and there's different things that you can do here and there, which is pretty cool. And then you have Infinity, which again, their activation is different. Again, you get your action points and stuff like that. And it was just a really, really cool game. I think it was one of those really cool, fun skirmish games. I like it in, but this is, to be fair, this is everything for me. I like it in smaller games. I love running tiny, itty bitty little skirmishes. I think that's the most fun out of wargaming, because I'm not huge on being stuck somewhere for like 3 or 4 hours, and that is a bit of a bugaboo with 40k for me. Now I'm a quick player. I know what I want to do when it's my opponent's turn. So when it comes up to my turn, I'm in, I'm out. But then having people just take forever. And I've got a couple of guys in my friends group, great players, great guys, love playing with them. But goddamn, they can take forever to take a turn. One of our friends, he is just setup just takes fucking an hour. And it's even worse on TTS. Yeah, but no, you're right. It was really refreshing. Infinity just, I don't know, it was just so fucking cool. And the teams are amazing. Like the JSA teams. It's got like the geisha and the samurai and stuff in it. Really, really cool aesthetic. And I absolutely loved the idea. I just thought it was so fucking cool. But it's really refreshing. Like, you spend your points, you get to then, it buys you 2 activations instead of 1. You can interact. So, there's a dodge mechanic, which I love. I know that all wargaming is it's an augmentation of reality of what you can do, because if you let me tell you now, if you're going to try and build or design a game around trying to do something, with every little bit of life accurate kind of things, like if a grenade goes off, and you're within 10 meters, you have to roll a soft tissue damage or an inner ear check kind of thing. It's not possible, but adding something like that where there is a little bit more interaction, I loved it. I love out of phase stuff. Some of you 40k players might remember the old Yunari Strength from Death that was in the Codex in 8th. Not in the Codex, sorry, in the White Dwarf. That was I loved that mechanic because it was so stupid and overpowered. 2, I've been playing elves for a very long time, so that kind of suited me. But it was just one of those things where things happen out of phase, and I honestly thought that should have kind of been like, don't get me wrong, it was overpowered, but it was only overpowered because there was only one faction that could do it. But I honestly thought if they introduced something like that, and they did come in, once Heresy got their big refresh, where you can start to react to things, that made it so much cooler. And I know that's what I absolutely loved about Infinity when I started playing it. Yeet, skeet. I don't know. It's just, yeah. But I don't know why I'm shitting on GW so much today. That was a question from another platform I'm on, TikTokers. I don't know. Maybe just because they, I don't know. I've gone a little cold on GW stuff. Like, the models are cool, and I do like the games. I do play the games. I'm a Night Lord player primarily. Well, these days I am. as well as an elf player. I used to be a fucking big time Harlequin player, but when the book got changed, and I'm not saying that they got bad because their win rate being, like 70 odd percent, and they were winning tournaments left, right, and center, but they just didn't play how I like to play them, and that's a big thing, man. I thought that was pretty bad, turning them into these cagey sit back and shoot, wait for everything to be dead, and then kind of run out and score. I hated that. The book cycle is driving other games. Yeah, and man, there's so many other cool games out there, and I think that's what the Heresy for Heretics channel is going to evolve into. Obviously, when I started up, it was going to be primarily 40k. And don't get me wrong, there still will be a bunch of 40k content. Like it's one of the bigger games. I'd be stupid not to. But after I got a little bit sour on it, especially more in the recent weeks, I wanted to go back and just play some other things with some other people, do something that didn't feel like the same old, in out kind of bullshit that runs around. And and I was just so happy that so many other manufacturers jumped on and said, "Hey, we'll sponsor you for that." I was like, "Cool, man, let's do that." If I can get some free plastic from there, I'm down, brother. Because as you can imagine, I spend a stupid amount of money on wargaming products. Like, if you're on YouTube, you'll be able to see behind me, and that's just empty boxes I've kept recently. For you TikTokers, there's a little glimmer of what goes on around here. But I don't know, different games. This week you've worked on War Machine, Infinity, Warcaster, Star Wars Legion, and then some Heresy. Awesome. I am looking at a lot more Heresy. I'm not Heresy, Legion stuff. I also want to kind of get back into BattleTech a little bit. And I know a lot of people are 50-50, fucking hate BattleTech. But I know I thought there was some cool interactions. I know there's some of it's a little bit crunchy, so saith Uncle Adam. But different mechanics. I just love playing games. Trying different things. I suppose that is what I'm here for. That's what I kind of want to do. So yeah. But no, Star Wars Legion has me very, very interested. And even further beyond that, Star Wars Shatterpoint is it's coming. We've just seen Atomic Mass Games have put up the pre-order is available from now. Somebody leaked that there's a special model that comes with the pre-orders. I don't know. It just looks really cool. Plus, I like Marvel Crisis Protocol. Oh, you pre-ordered the starter. Awesome. I think that's going to be a really cool buy. I think it's going to be a great game. Even if it does work out to be a basic reskin of Marvel Crisis Protocol, I don't care. Marvel Crisis is amazing. It's an excellent game. It's extra characters, and just kind of the way it all runs through. I think it's going to be fantastic. I don't care if it's a reskin. I'd actually like that even better, because a full-on reskin just means I get to try fucking what happens when Darth Vader and Wolverine, get into a fight. Like we can roll those things out instead of me having to spend like 10 hours working out a chart. Which is another thing that I'm doing on the channel is, I play so many different games. I do want to check out. I do. I like running weird things. So like recently I did Darth Maul versus a Primaris Chaplain, and it worked pretty well. June release lets me pretend it's a reward for surviving another year of high school, teacher. Oh, brother, do I sympathize. I'm a music teacher in my real life. I don't do schools anymore. I do disadvantaged programs, and God, I don't miss schools. So yeah, 100%. You would actually, as far as I'm concerned, you qualify for two. Go and pre-order all the additional boxes, the Hello There box, and the Dooku. You deserve it for making it that far, man. Fucking teenagers, goddamn. And you can see perfectly, like here and there, fairly well. 170 kids this semester. Jesus. I've actually just finished doing a holiday program where I had like generally about 56 kids at once, which is yep, it's about that. But no, it's yeah, go and pre-order yourself the rest of those boxes, my man. You deserve it. That is a big deal. And a lot of people that don't get kind of what goes into teaching, mentalities and the day in, day out. Don't get me wrong, I have seen some teachers explode in my time. And it wasn't until I started teaching properly that I understood why, but then understood how hard it could be to kind of keep that under wraps and always responding instead of reacting. Especially when you come to teenagers, man, because they can push some buttons. I've always just been lucky enough that I'm like, I'm 6'2", 130 kilos. Like, there's very few teenagers that are going to even try and hold it over me physically. And I'm a pretty stern dude when it comes to the kids. Like, there's no messing around. No, there's definitely time and place for them. We can have fun, and that's cool. And I'll let a lot of stuff slide. But yeah, it's got to be respectful, follow the rules, all that kind of thing. So yes, you deserve it. Somebody buy this man a second copy. My hero had to get me one. I am still considering it. I'm actually look. I will end up with it one way or another. I am trying to at least talk to Atomic Mass about a pre-release access to the game. Which, fingers crossed, we know that they've got some of them built at least. I don't know where they're up to in the productions. I don't think anybody really does. I don't know if they do, because there is a lot of stuff that goes into it. Yeah, there is nothing that goes in there. That's cool. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know. But you know, I probably will end up with the Shatterpoint box. Because was it Asmodee, which is like the parent company. They do a lot of really cool ball games as well. They've actually there's a Witcher game coming out in the second quarter of this year. It's more of a ball game, but there is miniatures in it. And if there's one thing that I will probably go and buy, it's more bloody miniatures. So yeah, hopefully they jump on board as a sponsor. I have a couple of different levels as far as sponsorships go, especially since I've just started. So I've only just started looking into sponsorships. But basically, we start off with a trial. You know, send out some product. We'll see how the videos go, that kind of thing. One, if I even like it. To do I want to progress with this or not? And two, yeah, just see what the response is like. Does my audience kind of actually cross over? All right, guys, we are going to wrap this one up for today. I'll come back and we'll put some more miniatures together another day. Time to go grab some kids from school. All right, thanks for jumping on.
You talk so much.
Hey?
You talk so much.
You've got it when it's